Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So today we got a massive patch, and with it came a whole different variety of fixes. Amongst it came a change to our healer's mark. They essentially made it a lot easier to visibly see and spot while we're in combat. On top of this, I would like to go over how you can adjust the visibility of allies and enemies and such as HP bars. As a healer, I feel it's very important that you make sure you keep an eye out on your allies' HP bars, and in let's say a trial scenario like in Tom or in Zariel, it's very important you can see all of your party's HP bars, including those that are not actually displayed in your party, essentially the other 5 in the other party. It is still very important that you actually see their HP bars, not just on your HUD like you would over here at the left, but visibly when you walk around. You can see I currently have it set on mouse over for those not actually in my party. I can mouse over people and I can see their HP bars. Now for our healer mark, we got a change. If you look at it and I press tab on myself, you can now see I don't see it above my head. However, I do see it at the top left here. This is not the only way you can see it. You can still see it above your head. However, you need to enable your HP bars. If you go to your options, you go to your interface here, you go to HUD, and you scroll down to here. Here you can see you can show enemy's name or enemy life, and you can do it the same with NPCs, friends, guilds, party members, companions, other players, and also enemy players, so like in PvP, and then of course yourself. Generally I don't like to have these active whatsoever. However, if I go and activate my life, you can now see my HP bar, and above it you can see that mark. It actually looks slightly different to how it was before. Looks a little bit nicer now rather than the cartoonish version how it was before. You can also see if I enable my name to be always on as well, it will put the mark above my name. You can see if I join a party with somebody and I put my healer's mark on them, if they'll stand still, there we go. You see I see their name, their HP bar, and that mark above their head. Now I do much prefer not to have my HP bar up. It will be a little annoying when I do get the mark on myself and I can't really see it. However, I will see it up here. You can see she has the mark, and that way it's very easy visibly to see like that. If I put the mark on myself, you can see it switches it over to here. So for my settings, as you may already have seen in my HUD, I like to select it as essentially for enemies, I just have them mouse over and like recently damaged. For NPCs, I generally prefer just to have them on never. However, you could just have it on mouse over there. That's not gonna harm anything. Then for friends here, I generally like to always have the name on, just so you can easily spot the people who you have as friends within a crowd. Like you can see that dude there, Aster. And for their HP, I just like to have it as mouse over and recently damaged. It's exactly the same with guild members, the same with party members. However, this time for party members, I like to have always checked. So then it actually doesn't matter about the other two. Just having it always on, so when you have them in your party, you'll always be able to keep an eye out on their HP bars when they're just walking around and you don't have to look over here on the left. These party members here will also include everybody in your queue group. So if you have 10, 25 people in a queue group, then and you're in that instance with them, it will show them also as kind of party members. For example, like in Tower of the Mad Mage. Companions, just prefer to have them a mouse over and recently damaged, name and HP. Other players, I like to have mouse over and the life being recently damaged. And for enemy players during PvP, it's personal preference. I like to have them as always essentially, and life essentially as recently damaged. And for myself, of course, I just like to have them set as never, just so that you don't walk around with a silly name above your head. It kind of takes it away from things and you end up just having the name right where the cursor normally is, the pointer. So now let's go and see if anything changed on the cleric or the warlock. in regards to their marks. I believe they have the same mechanic where you can put the mark on a target and you'll get it here with your party members, and you'll get it above your head if you display your HP bars. So let's go and see. So I'm here on my warlock. Let's go ahead and stick the mark on myself. There we go, I have the mark on myself. You can see it there up at the top left. You're the target of your life mark. It looks actually a good bit different to how it was. It used to be just the swirls. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like by adjusting the HUD, what it looks like on myself. There we go. It has the same swirls as it has before, but now it looks artistically a lot cooler. So here I am over on my cleric. Let's go ahead and see what the life mark looks like here. Switch to my healer build, press our tab lightly. You can see the same wings there at the top left. Let's activate my HP bar and we'll be able to see them above my head. I would much prefer to be able to see this mark without showing my own HP. So if they reverted that state with the mark back to how it was before, just for yourself, that would be ideal. And keep it as it is for other players, because it's very convenient to be able to see them above people's heads while you also have the HP bars active, because that was just very infuriating having them just hidden behind the HP bars. Having the mark on the left there with the other party members also definitely helps. However, when you are in a party of 10, it'll only show 5 of the members here, so that will also still be pretty annoying. I do wish that hopefully in the future they can add it so we can customize this and have all 10 here. That would be pretty cool, especially for those aggro bars for tanks, so you can actually see everybody's aggro bar, and it's not like, yeah, you can't see it because generally the high DPS are in the other party. So there we have it. That's the update to the healer's mark. It's just visually easier to see, and how essentially to activate and deactivate players' names and HP bars. Hopefully this is helpful to at least some of you, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.